So our next problem's a little bit more applied. So remember, we looked at angle of elevation, angle of depression before. Angle of elevation, remember, you're looking horizontal and then you have to elevate your eyes to look at something in the sky. Angle of depression, you're looking horizontally and then you have to angle your eyes downwards to see something below you. So suppose that the angle of elevation of the sun is 23.4 degrees. Find the length of the shadow cast by Lee Goldberg, who is 5.75 feet tall. So we have our right triangle in here pretty quick. Now you can usually do these problems with just one trigonometric ratio or trigonometric function. So in this case, we have the opposite side to the angle and we're looking for our shadow, which is the adjacent side. So in this case, tangent is going to be your best option. So if we say tangent of 23.4 degrees is equal to 5.75 over x. Since x is in the bottom, remember the shortcut is just to divide those. So 5.75 divided by tangent of 23.4 degrees. So we can do that pretty quickly. 23.4, and we want a tangent, not second, but just regular tangent, and then hit equals. So 13 points, well, they're going two decimal places, so let's do the same. So 13.29 feet. Done. So that should be the length of the shadow. Now this one's got a little more layers to it, so this one's a little trickier. Angle of elevation from a point on the ground to the top of a pyramid is 35 degrees 30 minutes. The angle of elevation from a point 135 feet farther back to the top of the pyramid is 21 degrees 10 minutes. Find the height of the pyramid. Okay, so in this case, we could set up a couple of equations that involve x based on our two right triangles. Now the other dimension that we kind of need is this dimension in here. So I'm going to call it y. So let's see what we can do. So one equation we can set up involving 35. So we're going to have the opposite and the adjacent. So we're going to want to use tangent. So tangent of 35 degrees 30 minutes. So now remember, 30 minutes is going to be equal to 0.5 degrees. I'm going to just change that right now. So 35.5 degrees equals x over y. Now, if we wanted to solve this equation for y, we're basically going to divide. So this is going to be y equals x over the tangent of 35.5 degrees. Okay, so now let's set up our second one. Our second one, actually I'm thinking about this. I think we're going to want to solve for x. So I'm going to write it in terms of x as well. So that gives us two variations of the same formula. We can solve it for y or solve it for x. Our second one, we got to be a little bit careful about our opposite side. So we still got the 21 degrees 10 minutes. Let's just change that now. So this is going to be 21 and 10/60 degrees. So 21.1666, so 167. We'll use 167. All right, so tangent of 21.167 degrees is going to be equal to our opposite still, x, over, now be careful, we got y is this part and 135, so we're going to have to add those to get the whole side. So now I I think we're going to want to solve this for x as well. So x should be equal to y plus 35 times the tangent of 21.167. So now we got two equations, both solved for x. So now we can set these two equations equal to each other, and we should be able to solve it from here. So if we say y tangent 35.5 equals y plus 35 tangent 21.167, we can, I'm not going to evaluate the tangents yet, just because, even though we'll get a decimal, I'm going to leave them like that for a moment. So if we distribute, we're going to get y times tangent of 21.167, and then plus 35 tangent of 21.167. I just barely squeezed that on there. And so now we're going to do a little subtraction. So we'll move that to the other side by subtracting it. And so that's going to set it equal to 35 tangent 21.167. So two more steps. So we're going to factor out, excuse me, we'll factor out the y. So that was going to leave us this. Okay, and I'm running out of room, so I might move up, but we'll move up in a second. So now the last step is to divide this whole quantity off of both sides. So we got y is equal to 35 tangent of 21.167 degrees over tangent 35.5 degrees minus tangent of 21.167 degrees. So now let's bring it up here. So we got y is equal to what? So we can type all of this in on your calculator. So let's see what we get. 35 times 21.167, and we need to tangent it, equals that, divided by, let's get some parentheses in here, 35.5 tangent minus 21.167 tangent, close our parentheses, and equals. So it looks like 41.56. So y equals 41.56. So now we still need to find the height of the pyramid, which is x. So how do we find x? We know what y is. Well, remember, we can use any of these variations. So let's look at this one. X is equal to y times that. So if we take 41.56 and multiply it by the tangent of 35.5 degrees, or we could just leave what's in the calculator, that's the more precise answer, and times that by 35.5 tangent equals 29.65. And that's going to be in feet. So that one's a little bit more involved. Obviously, you got to be careful about the degrees and minutes and whatnot, but just be careful and you should be able to convert that. And then this one was easier if you set up two trig equations, And then you can see that there is a way to combine them. So if we set x equal to both of those, you can then set them equal and break it down. A little yucky, I know. It gets kind of confusing in there, but just remember that the tangents will end up just being decimals. So should be able to break it down. Okay, we got a little bit more on the next page, and we're almost done. See you in the next video.